Good morning, evening, whatever it is for you. This video is going to be on one-step equations with negatives, add and subtract. I'm going to insist and beg you. How about if I beg you not to get lazy with this? All right. I'm teaching you something now in this video that's going to help you with more difficult problems later on. Some of you may be able to look at this and you may know the answer, but I want you not to be lazy. All right. So W minus 15 equals negative 4. We're going to use zero pairs to help us figure this out. Our ultimate goal is to get W equals some number, which is our answer. All right. And what we're going to do to get that is we're going to use the old zero pair thing we've been dealing with. So if I think of this as Wn negative 15, all right, what can I add to this side to make that W plus 0? And why am I looking for W plus 0? Because anything plus 0 is itself. So if I add 15 to this side, do you see how negative 15 and positive 15 make a zero pair? Well, that's huge because that gives me W plus 0, or just W, and that helps me solve the equation. Remember, an equation is like a balance scale. If I add or subtract one thing to one side of a balance scale, oops, went to the previous page, sorry about that. If I add or subtract anything to a balanced scale, I need to do the same to the other side to keep it balanced. So if I add 15 to that side, that's a zero pair. I'm left with just W, and negative 4 plus 15 is positive 11, right? That's our answer. Well, guess what, folks? I am going to check it. I'm going to check it by replacing W with 11. So 11 minus 15, well, it's 11 and negative 15. Add them together and I get negative 4, and I am smiling because that's the same answer I'm looking for. All right, let's go to the next problem. So I have 17 equals t plus negative 13/20. Once again, zero pairs will help us figure this out. So what can I add? In this case, let me move this down. What can I add to the right side of this equation to get t by itself? And it turns out negative 13 over 20, if I add 13 over 20 to that side, that makes a zero pair, leaving me with just t. Well, if I add 13 over 20 to one side, I need to add 13 over 20 to the other side, which gives me 17 plus 13 is 30 over 20, which, by the way, I'm going to simplify to 3 over 2. All right, so my answer is t equals 3 over 2. Come on, guys. I'm a nerd. I'm going to check my work. I always check my work. So I'm going to take 3 over 2 plus negative 13 over 20 and see what happens. Well, 3 over 2 is 30 over 20 plus negative 13 over 20. Well, 30 plus negative 13 is positive 17 over 20. And does that make me smile? Yes, it does, because it get a check mark there, check mark there. I did it right. I think the next one is the last problem. Okay, so negative 10.74 equals u minus negative 11. Uh-oh, double negative, don't want that, so I'm going to do negative 10.74 equals u minus negative 11 becomes u plus 11. Okay? So now I can, my goal is to get u by itself. All right? So I'm going to subtract 11 from both sides. All right? All right, it's a little sloppy here. I'll take sloppy over not showing your work any day. So 11 and negative 11 make a zero pair. Negative 10.74 and negative 11, which is really negative 11.00, comes out to, well, it's a negative and a negative, so it's going to be more negative. Negative 21.74 equals U. What's the nerd going to do? He's going to check his work. By the way, I say nerd in the sense that that's a good thing. All right. So let's put in negative 21.74 in for U. So negative 21.74 minus negative 11. So minus negative 11. So that's negative 21.74 minus negative 11 becomes plus 11. Well, what do I have? More negatives or positives when I put them together? I have more negatives. So the difference between these two is 10.74. And does that give me a smiley face? It should give me a smiley face because that matches that. And I smile. And we're done. Yay, us.